I am Ramdas. In this semester, I'm going to handle you EC 8352 signals and system. Uh, so you all know about this signals. So what is signals and what is system and all. Uh, Signals, it plays a major role in our life, isn't it? Is anyone know about? Can I hear about the signals? If you do, just unmute your mic and tell me, answer me my questions. Give some example for signals. Any signals, whatever you know, you can tell me. No idea?
Radio signals, sir.
Yeah, very good.
TV signals.
Uh, Next.
Mm.
Analog signals, digital signals.
Digit.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Who said this? Yeah, I hope now you are aware about the signals, isn't it? Right.
Yes, sir.
See, this is our unit one syllabus. Our unit one is classification of signals and system. So, in this unit, the main objective of this unit is to understand the basic properties of signals and system. That is our main aim of to study this first unit in our signals and system subject. Okay. So this is our course content in this unit one. So first topic is standard signals, step, ramp, pulse, impulse, real, complex exponential, sinusoidal. Then next topic is classification of signals. So under the classification, you can have continuous time, discrete time, periodic, aperiodic, deterministic, random, energy and power signals. Then third topic is classification of system. Under the topic, you can have continuous time system, discrete time system, linear time system, non-linear time system, time variant and time invariant system, causal system and non-causal system, stable and unstable system. So this is the course content in your first unit. So our main aim is to understand the basic properties of signals as well as system. Okay, I hope once you complete this unit, you all have this outcome. That is, you can achieve this outcome. What is that means? You can able to analyze the properties of signal system. If any systems or any signals will come, you can able to analyze it, and also you can able to determine basic concepts of signals and system, as well as you can able to determine if the given system is whether it is causal or non-causal, or whether it is linear or non-linear, or whether it is stable or unstable, or whether it is a periodic signal or a periodic signal. You can easily identify. If I give any signal for you in this tutorial section, you may have some idea. You can easily identify whether the signals are comes under the periodic signals. So these signals are said to be aperiodic signals. That much knowledge you can attain from the first unit. So the day one itself, you just take your take your notebook and note it down. Everything, whatever I said, you just note it down. Okay. Day by day, you can go through at least you may spend half an hour for our subject, because this is a problematic subject for you. So day one itself, you go through the subject, then only you can easily able to understand the subject. Otherwise, if you miss the any class, definitely you can not able to understand any content in further topic, right? So the main prerequisite. Okay, so if you learn this subject, you must have the some basic background in calculus, because already you are studying maths, M1, M2. So in that subject, you can do it the calculus operation and all. So you should have some basic knowledge in calculus part, and also you should have some basic knowledge in complex number, and you should have some basic exposure to differential equation. If you know this concept, our subject is become very easiest for you. Otherwise, it is make a little bit complex for you. So, if whenever you have time, you just go through these three topics. That is, you may aware about calculus part, complex number part, and also differential equation. Okay. Then I will prefer your standard textbook for you. Okay. Don't follow any local author book at all. Okay. This is your prescribed textbook for you, signals and system by Opanium A. Wilsky and H. Nawab, second edition, 1997, Prentice Hall. Okay. You just go to download these books. Okay. E-book is available in our website. Okay. You just go through it. Otherwise, I will give you a link for to download this book, textbook. Okay. Then suppose if you have refer one more books, means I suggested you this Simon Hackett and Barry Banwin. This is useful for you. So I hope these two textbook will help you for to learn more about the signals and system, as well as your examination point of view also. It will be more helpful for you. So I suggested the book name is Signals and System, Opanium book. Okay, this is a standard textbook for you, right? So now we will move on to first lecture. Okay, so in this first lecture, I will going to discuss about the introduction to signals. Already you all said you are aware about the signals. So I am very happy to hear this sound. Okay. Anyway, I am also going to discuss about, I will give some extra signals, extra new information about the signals. Okay, right. So what is signals? So signal means it will convey some information, isn't it? Now I am speaking to you. I will convey some information through voice signal, isn't it? So now our my voice signal, that is speech signal, is generated by me, right? So this speech signal is an analog signals. So this is the best example for analog signals. So signal means what? It will convey the some information, or it carry the information, or it provide the some information, right? For example, if you take the ECG signal, you all know about the ECG, because you all take the in your home, any members are take ECG waveform and all, ECG, EEG, like that. Okay, so ECG means electrocardiogram. So these signals, it will provide the information about health of the human's heart rate, isn't it? So it provide the information about heart rate, human's heart rate. So it provide the information. Just note it down the sentence. It provide the information, right? So that's why we call it as ECG is one kind of signals. So biomedical signals. Let us say I will give one more signal, EEG. Is a electroencephalogram. Okay, so which is used to, which provide the activity of the brain, right? So here also EEG also it provides some information, that is brain activity. So EEG is also one kind of signals, right? Other than that, you can have electrical signals, pressure signals, temperature signals, okay, acoustic signals, video signals, audio signals. Yeah, as you said, TV signals. Yeah, this is also comes under the video signals. Some students are said about the analog signal, digital. Yeah, this is also signals, but types of signals comes under the types of signals, right? So the correct definition for signal is a signal. It can be defined as any physical quantity that varies with one or more independent variable. Okay, the function is depend upon one or more independent variable. So look at this function. So function of x comma y comma z. So this is your function. So this is one kind of signal. But inside this parenthesis, you can have some variable, no, that is x, y, z. This portion we call it as independent variable. Independent variable. So our signal is any physical quantity. It will depend upon one or more independent variable. For example, if you take x of t, so it's a one-dimensional variable because our signal is depend upon one variable. That is what? T. So it depend upon one independent variable. So we call it as one-dimensional signal. So our speech signal, audio signals. Okay. So signal means actually it is depend upon one variable. Suppose if it is depend upon two independent variable, so that is called image signal. Okay, now you understand what is signals and sound signals and image signal difference. For example, so if we consider the type x of t, our signals in this course we focus only on this parameter only, that is x of t, because this is analysis for signals. You focus on only for signals, sound signals, special signal, continuous time signal, discrete time signal, like that. Okay, so corresponding frequency is x of f. So this is your frequency representation. Then temperature, pressure, okay, many other signals are you may have, right? But the main notation is here x of t. This one it represent continuous time. This one it represent continuous time. Maximize my screen. Okay, right. See the previous slide. For example, for electrical signal is voltage and current in a circuit. Yeah, previous semester you had studied about the circuit diagrams and all, and also you have some exposure in practical side also. Okay, when you design any circuits, okay, mainly depend upon the main signal is, if you want to operate your circuit, you need the these two signals is very important. That is your voltage signal and a current signal. Now in this circuit, which one it can act as a signal means voltage and current, right? When you move on to acoustic signals, so acoustic signals means your audio signals or pitch signal, that is sound signals, it comes under the acoustic. Next, video signal. Video signal means intensity variation in an image. When you watch, when you look at the display screen in your TV or monitor or in your mobile phone, the intensity should be variation. So depend upon the intensity only you can get the acute image. That is, you can get clarity image, clear image. In olden generation, we can have double download zero mobile phone. Nowadays, you can have the smartphones. So you can see the variation in the display wise. You can see more variation when compared to double download zero mobile set as well as your current Android mobile phone, isn't it? Because the variation is here intensity. Okay, so if you want to analyze this area, you can easily by using the image signal processing concept, right? Now in our subject we focus only on the signal, that is x of t or x of n, continuous time or discrete time, right? So now this is our independent variables, right? So what are the independent variable means? It can be either continuous or it can be discrete, okay, or it can be one dimensional or two dimensional or n dimensional. It means our signal, it depend upon one independent variable means one dimensional signal. A signal, it depend upon two independent variable means we call it as two dimensional signal. Okay, so in this course we focus only on one dimensional independent variable. That is what we call it as time. If it is continuous time, so we can represent it as x of t. This is your notation. Okay, if it is continuous time, our signal is represents x of t. T should be a continuous value. Suppose if it is discrete time, okay, you put x of n. So that is x of n, or you may put x of k. So there is some difference. Look at the difference. So here I start writing from x, open parenthesis, inside the term you put independent variable. But here I use the square bracket. So this is the very important. Okay, you just kindly note it down. For continuous time means you put like this, x of open parenthesis, inside you put t variable. But discrete time you put x, small x, okay, open the square bracket, inside the term you can put either n or k. Better you have to choose these two alone, x of t or x of n. X of t it represent continuous time, x of n it represent discrete time. Okay, now I hope you understand about the basics of signals, right? Now let's move on to how a signal can be represented. Okay, how you can represent a signal. So mathematically, our signals are represented as function of one or more independent variables. This is our definition of signals. Okay, so this is what now I can see x of t or f of x comma y comma z. These are all nothing but mathematical representation. So this mathematical representation, mathematically, our signal can be represented as a function of one or more independent variables. Okay, for instance, now we may take black and white video signal. So black and white video signal, the intensities depend upon x, y coordinate and also with respect to time. See, function of x comma y comma t. Now our signal is depend upon three-dimensional variable. Okay, look at the signal. Black and white video signal means here our intensity depend upon two independent variables, and with respect to time. Okay, so this is your one kind of signal. This is nothing but continuous time signal. So our signal is varies between time to function of time, f of t. See, at where suppose if we have 0, at t equal to 0, here there is signals. At t equal to 1, there is also signals. But in between these two time period, there is also signal. It means our signal will be continuously flow with respect to time. Okay, if we vary the time, so our signals also continuously flow, right? So that's why we call it as continuous time signal. Now this is the best example for continuous time signal, right? Next we move on to, now you hope one part of our subject, that is you can get some clear idea about the signal, what is signals, right? How the signals can be represented, right? Next we move on to second half of our subject, that is system, because signal plus system, this is our course. Okay, you are focused both in signal as well as system also. You don't leave the system part, or you may don't leave about the signal part, because these two are will combine into our course. Okay, I will also say how the signals and systems are associated, related, correlated. That's also I am going to explain in previous slide. Okay, next slide. So what is system? So system is which can process the input signal and it produce the output signal, isn't it? So if you take any system, okay, like your PC, you may take your PC as your example, right? So if you want to build a PC, set up a PC in your desktop in your home, right? So what are the components you require? Yeah, definitely you can require monitor, then CPU, keyboard, mouse. If you want to connect the Bluetooth means Bluetooth dongle, Wi-Fi modem means Wi-Fi modem. Okay, so these and all separate devices. Now you are going to assemble all the components, then only it will make into a complete setup of your for PC, isn't it? Now these are all the functional blocks, separate blocks, which are all connected together to produce the output, isn't it? Now if you work on the system, okay, any operation, any task you can perform in your system, you can get the immediate output through your display. How will you get the output in your display? Some operations defaultly you can in process already programmed into your system. Based upon the instruction, it can access your input and it can processing your input and it will produce your output. But your output respond to your given input only. For example, if you take the calculator, okay, I want to add two numbers, that is 2 plus 2. Okay, this is your, I want to add these two numbers. Once I put press 2, then plus, then 2 equal to, press here equal to button. You can get the 4 as a immediate answer, isn't it? How it will be coming? So this 4 will be depend upon your input signal, isn't it? So this 4 it respond to your input signal. So now the system is a function of blocks which are all connected together to produce the output. Those output is respond to your given input. Okay, I hope now you understand about the definition for signal system. I'll give more example in this slide. For example, look at this first example, a circuit diagram. The circuit diagram, it involving the capacitor. It can be viewed by a system. The transform, what does it do? It transforms the source, that is voltage signal, to voltage signal across the capacitor. Now our capacitor can act as a system. Or you may take CD player example. So it takes the signals from CD and it transforms it into signal into loudspeaker, isn't it? Now our CD player, it can act as a system. Which one is input? It takes the signal from CD, so that is your input. Your output is, you can get the sound from loudspeaker, that is your output part, right? Another example I will also give you, that is for example, if you increase the speed of the vehicle, Okay. For example, let us take the you want to increase the speed of the vehicle bicycle. Okay. Now the input is output is speed. Okay. Input is you are going to pressure, giving the more pressure on your pedal. Okay. Now this pressure applying on the pedal is your input signal. When you apply more pressure on the pedal, what will happen? Automatically it will get increase the speed of your bicycle. Okay, so our bicycle is a system. Input is a applying the pedal, right? Pressure on the pedal. Increasing speed is your output, right? Now you understand. You just correlate these three terms. Your output is depend upon applying the input on the pedal, isn't it? Now our bicycle, it can get increase moving, that is it can get speed, high speed, right? So this one is act as a system. So system means which can processing your input signal, it can get the input signal and it processing your input signal and it produce the output signal, right? Next slide. These are all the different types of signal. First one is continuous time signal. Okay, so here continuous time is with our signal, it will take place at for every value of time. So it should be a continuous manner, right? So signal will be defined at a continuous time. So how will you represent this continuous time means inside this parenthesis, right? That's why I put here x of t. So t is the independent variables. Suppose if you take the discrete time signal, see, look at this definition. Here we use the square bracket. Inside the square bracket only you put the independent variable. So for discrete time, our independent variable is n. For continuous time, our independent variable is t. Am I right? So here look at this signal, that there is some difference in between these two signal. Okay, here look at the signal. At t equal to 0, the signal is present here. At t equal to 1, the signal is present here. In between these two time period, there is also the signal. So it means the signal, it will define for every value of time t. Okay, but in discrete time, look at this diagram. Here at n equal to 0, you can have the signal. At n equal to 1, you can have the signal, that is x of 1. But in between these two samples, there is no signal. So signal should be absent here. Okay, that's why we call it as discrete time, discrete value. So it means, for example, how will you define the discrete time signal means it will be defined, okay, the signal, it will takes place at certain interval of time, that is particular time period only there will be signal. Okay, so instead of time only we can have the signals. That is the definition for discrete time signal, right? We move on to standard signal. This from this slide onwards, you start from your syllabus. This is your first topic in your syllabus, that is standard signal. So under this you can have the different types of signal, that is the exponential signals, sinusoidal signals, step function, rectangular pulse, impulse function, derivative of the impulse, and ramp function. So but in your syllabus you can have exponential, sinusoidal, step, rectangular, and a ramp alone. Okay, see, first I will talk about the exponential and sinusoidal signals, right? So exponential signals. So here this is your exponential variable x of t equal to b e power at for a less than 0 condition. So a less than 0 means, so it become here negative value. Our exponent term, power of the exponent term become negative. So what will happen? Your exponential signal will be decaying with respect to time. So this type of signal we call it decaying exponential signal. The same signal, but I vary the time. That is, the condition is a greater than 0. Look at this figure. Okay, what will happen? This become positive. Okay, so now our signal is getting gradually increasing depend upon this condition. Now this entire part we call it as rising exponential signal. Okay, so this figure it represent decaying exponential. This figure it represent rising exponential. Okay, so look at the points in the present in the slide. So signal, that is a real term. Okay, exponential. It can be represented as x of t equals c e power at. So this is a real exponential term. Suppose a signal, if you want to represent in complex exponential, it means both c as well as a, these two are represented in complex number. If it is these two parameters, that is C and A, if two are in real number means we call it as real exponential. Suppose if these two parameters are complex number means we call it as complex exponential signals. Okay, so look at this is one of the signals, sinusoidal signals. So here this is very continuous in manner. Okay, so if you want to represent the signal in terms of mathematical expression means a into e power minus alpha t sine omega t plus pi with all where alpha greater than 0. So look at this. This is the mathematical representation of signal. So this representation is we call it as mathematical representation. So this is also one kind of one of the way for to represent the signals. Okay, so this diagram it represents graphical representation. Okay, so this is also one of the way for to represent the signal. Okay, right. So now in this signal here the capital A it represents amplitude of your signals. It represents this is the amplitude portion now. So this 50 degree here minus 40 degree. So this is your amplitude portion, right? Then this is the exponential term. This area sine of omega t plus pi is your phase angle, phase shift. Okay, so depend upon the condition, your phase angle should be vary, right? So this is the one of the examples for your continuous time. See, next pulse is unit step or unit impulse signals, right? How you will represent the unit signal? First, unit impulse. So the condition for unit impulse is del of n, which is equal to, okay, 1 for n equal to 0. Otherwise, it is 0. Otherwise, it is 0. That is what we call it as impulse. Okay. So in this slide, wait a minute. If we have any tools that are available, yeah, here there will be pen is available. Yeah, I'll draw it here. This is your signal. Okay, here I put n, here del of n. Okay, here n equal to 0. Here there is signal. So this portion is 1. Okay, right. Look at this condition. Now you look at this condition, this portion. Okay, del of n equal to 0 for n not equal to 0. Look at this figure. When n not equal to 0, here there is no signal. The signal is absent here. Okay, so del of n which is equal to 0. Yeah, this condition should be satisfied. Next condition is what? For n equal to 0, your signal is 1. Yeah, for n equal to 0, here I put here signal. So this is nothing but you just put dot in this line. Okay, so it represents discrete time. Okay, so del of n which is equal to 1 for n equal to 0. Otherwise, it is 0. If it satisfies the condition, we call it as unit impulse signals. So unit impulse means there is no pulse in the signals. Okay, the signal is present at only at n equal to 0. Right. So this is discrete time unit impulse. Right. Next, unit step signal. Unit step signal means, see, this is n. So here for unit step representation is u of n. U of n. Okay, here n equal to 0, 1, then 2, etc. Okay, unit step means here n equal to 0, there is signal. N equal to 1, there is signal. N equal to 2, there is also signal. Okay, etc. Okay, so your amplitude is here 1. So look at the height of the each signals. So each sample is this. It consists of the amplitude is level is 1, equal height. Okay, so this is what we call a step signal. If amplitude is 1, for that reason only it will convert it into unit step. Unit means 1, single value, right? So this is a unit impulse. This is unit step. Okay, or unit step signals or unit step sequence. Okay, condition. Look at the condition. So condition is here u of n equal to 0 for n equal to 0. If it is 1 for n greater than or equal to 0. See, so this is not equal to 0, this is less than 0, right? Okay, now the condition is satisfied. For n greater than or equal to 0, our unit step signal is 1. Okay, for n less than 0, your signal is 0. So now if it satisfies with this condition, we call it as unit step signal. Am I clear? Suppose the same signal, it will be represented in continuous time order. So continuous time means you just change the parameters. So now it become del of t. Okay. Now this become u of t. U of t. Okay. So continuous means here it will be continuous. Okay. So I draw one single straight line here. See, look at this definition diagram like this. Okay. Our figure varies between t to u of t. This is your parameter for unit step signal for your continuous time. Am I clear? Right. So this is unit step and the unit impulse for both continuous time as well as discrete time signals. Next, we move on to next slide. Up to this, if you have any doubt, student,
No, sir.
do you have any doubt, ma? Shall we move on to next slide? No, anyone unmute your mic and tell me the answer.
No, sir.
Yeah, shall we move on to next slide? Yeah. So far we have discussed. I just summary the point. So far we have discussed about the what is signal, types of signals, and how the signal can be represented. Then what is system? Okay, and also we may see there are so many examples for signals as well as your system, right? Next, and also we can discuss about the standard signals. So in under the standard signals, you discuss about unit step signal, unit impulse signals, and exponential signals. Okay, and also you see the sinusoidal signals also, right? So next we move on to next slide. What happened? Yeah. This is the condition for step signals and pulse signals. Just erase it. Eraser is not available. Okay, now it may clear. See, look at the diagram, clear diagram. So this is nothing but unit step signal for continuous time signal. So this portion, it represents mathematical representation. Okay, here u of t equal to 1 for t greater than 0. So look at the diagram here when t equal to 0. Okay, when t greater than 0, your amplitude become 1. It means our signal is started from t equal to 0 to infinite. Okay, our signal, it will stop at when t less than 0. So it means here the signal is, there is no signal, here the signal is present, but the amplitude of the signal is 1. So this is what, this is where you have to represent the continuous time unit step signal. Okay, see the operation here, shift A. Okay, now I'm going to shift our unit step signal with respect to A. So it means time shifting signals. Okay, time shifting property. So for example, u of t minus A. So this is your actual signal. This is your original signal. Now it will be shifted into by A unit. Okay, so now it become t minus A. Simply you can say it is nothing but delay shift, delay signal. We call it as delay unit signals. Okay, for example, your class start at 9 o'clock. Sharply at 9 o'clock means some students are coming enter into the class at 9:05, and some of you are coming at 9:10 like this. Okay, actually this is your delay, latecomers. That's why we call it as our students are we call it as latecomer students like this. Okay, you don't get this name latecomer hereafter. Okay, if you have started 9 o'clock means you just follow the unit step signal portion. Okay, at t equal to 0 bits there will be signal. At the class time is 9 o'clock means you sharply enter into the 9 o'clock. So be like that. So don't follow this type of signal. Okay, right. So now this is u of t minus A. So look at this condition. This is our unit step signal. This actual signal will be shifting at by A. So shifting at A means our signal it will start at A. So see, I take the pen. So t minus A which is equal to 0. So our signal it will start at t equal to A. Okay, for our reference we will take like this. Okay, see, look at this diagram. So here at t equal to 0 there will be signal. Now it will be shifted into n. So this is your starting portion now. So now this starting portion is just shifted at eighth portion. So in this area, for example, instead of A I will give 1, t minus 1. It means this is 0, this will be 1. So now this entire portion is start from here. So at t equal to 0, 1. So the entire portion is started here. But the amplitude it will never changes. Only the time will be shifted. Okay, the amplitude is never shifted. Okay, that it will be constant. It remains at a constant, 1 only. Okay, so u of t minus A which is equal to 1 for t greater than A. Look at this diagram. Yeah, t greater than A, you can have the signals. Okay, when t less than A, there is no signals. If it satisfies this condition, we call it as unit step signals. So this is the delayed sequence representation. Okay, next we move on to next slide. Actually, it is, due to network problem, it will be having. Okay, any of the signals are there? Left out. Step okay, pulse okay, time shifting okay. This is your rectangular pulse. Okay, this is your rectangular pulse. It start from -5 to 0.5 to plus 0.5. Okay, so both side you can have the signal, left hand side as well as right hand side also you can have the signals, but it share the equal amplitude. That is what we call it as A. Okay, so the condition for this signal is how you'll write down the mathematical representation for this figure. Okay, this signal. See, first you put x of t because it is continuous time, right? So I put x of t which is equal to, okay, put curly braces. So this is one of the method. Already you saw graphical method, mathematical method. Now it is one of the method, right? So I put here curly braces here, right? You put the signal amplitude of the value. So here the amplitude is A. So I put here A, right? So this A condition is satisfied only for minus 0.5 to plus 0.5. So I put the condition here. When modulus of t less than or equal to minus 0.5 to plus 0.5. It means our t ranges start from 0.5 to 0.5. Okay, so otherwise it is said to be 0. Look at the condition, except minus 0.5, 0. Here also 0. So in this way, if any signal I will be given means you can able to write the corresponding mathematical equation. And also vice versa. if I give this mathematical representation, you can able to draw this diagram. So by practicing and learning only, it will come out. Okay, otherwise we have still lag in this subject, right? So look at this diagram. So second figure. So second figure is start from t equal to 0.5. Now the condition is varied here. So now t greater than or equal to 0.5. The condition is A. Okay, for A, t greater than or equal to 0.5. So here t less than or equal to start from minus 0.5. So now become t plus 0.5. So this t become x of t plus 0.5 because advanced shift. Okay, actually look at this figure and this figure. Here our signal is started from 0.5. Advanced. Okay, but delay. But here it starts from minus 0.5. So it is, we call it as advanced. It means if 9 o'clock our class timing means if you come at 9 means exact time, no problem. Okay, if you come at 8:50 is advance. This it represent your enthusiasm, right? Your eagerness to attend our class. But if you come at 9:10, it means delay. This is also, it show your lethargic to enter into your class. Okay, so you just correlate all this with your real-time examples. Okay, if you learn our subject, you just correlate with a related example. Our subject will be make a very easy for you. Okay, don't get any confusion to study this diagrammatic representation and all. Right now, I hope now you understand. So look at this two figure. So this is the advance. You are coming at 8:55 itself. Okay, this is your delay. It means you're coming at 9:5 like that. Okay, so it means our signal become x1 of t minus 0.5. So here it become x1 of x2 of t plus 0.5. Okay, so this is where you have to represent the mathematical representation for signals. Next, impulse signal. As I said earlier, impulse means there is no signal. See a t, here d, strength equal to 1. It means our signal strength will be occur only at this portion, n equal to 0 or t equal to 0. Okay, so other than that, we can have weak signal strength only. It means 0 only, right? Look at this figure. So I will represent it in terms of graphical representation. Okay, as I said earlier, this portion represent 1. 1 means amplitude. Okay, this portion it represent width. Okay, your amplitude is approximately equal to infinite. Okay, it tends to infinite because there is no particular time limit. If I said here 1 means I target up to this our signal is present, but you put here arrowhead means it going on like this up to infinite. Okay, because t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so it goes on increasing, right? So this portion width. So width means this area, particular area, we call it as width, right? So you don't get any confusion to seeing this diagram. You just look into this figure and for this condition and this one. Okay, for this figure, if you want to write down it mathematical representation in terms of continuous time means, okay, you may using the integral term also. So integration is only applicable for continuous time signal. Summation it represent for only for representation for discrete time signals. Okay, so integration of minus infinite to plus infinite del of t into dt equal to 1. When it is equal to 1 or t equal to 1. Okay, otherwise if it is not equal to t equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, your impulse signal become 0. So this is the impulse function for continuous time signal. Okay, next we move on to ramp signals. So R of t. Look at this first figure. So this is a figure. This is we call it as ramp signal. So ramp signal condition is R of t equal to 1 for t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, I take the pen here. For ramp signal R of t equal to 1 for t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, see this, I'll repeat this one. definitely you don't understand about my handwriting. Just I repeat this word sentence. This is nothing but r of t equal to 1 for t greater than or equal to 0. Otherwise 0. Okay. Otherwise it is 0. OW. See, first question, t equal to 1. So your amplitude is also both, it can have the equal value. Okay. So time period with respect to time, your amplitude is like this. Here 1 means here 1. Here 2 means here 2. Here 3 means here 3. Okay. So R of t equal to AN. Next unit step signal. So for t greater than or equal to 0, here the signal will be continuous. Del of t equal to 1 or del dash of t. Okay, equal to 1 for only at t equal to 0. For continuous time means you put integral term. For discrete means you put summation term. So integration means with respect to differentiation, because our continuous time is with respect to differentiation, d by dt. Okay. Next we move on to next slide. (9:50) time is already lost. Okay, this is a condition for ramp function. So see, r of t versus time t. This is your unit slope. Okay, so r of t equal to t, not here 1. This represent t. Okay, this is a correct definition for ramp function. So when t greater than or equal to 0, our r of t equal to t. Otherwise, it is 0. So it means t greater than or equal to 0, t